Would you guys not? I'm just trying to do some harvesting and you guys are definitely not helping my cause. My gosh, you are absolutely jerks. What's up, agents? Zero here. Welcome back to some more SY SMP. This is episode 4. If you remember, last time I basically was working on a skeleton farm that I had found near spawn, and I was basically trying to make it look a little bit better just so that at least it looks kind of nice when you come up to it. And I want to say I did a fairly decent job with that. Now, this episode, we're actually starting off in my redstone testing world because I actually have some farms that I want to go ahead and put together on the realm. Technically 3 farms, I will say that much, but obviously I'm not going to be able to build all 3 of them in a single episode. I'm basically going to only focus on one particular one in this episode, but I just figured I might as well go ahead and give you guys an idea of what it was planning on doing on future episodes. I will go ahead and mention this could potentially be the final episode of SY SMP, and I will explain in a little further detail later in the episode. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the farms that I am going to go ahead and put together. So this is the first farm that I'm going to build, and this is the one that I'm actually technically going to be focusing on for this particular episode. And this is actually a sea pickle farm, and I found a tutorial for this on YouTube, and it was created by Mr. Crayfish, and it's actually really simple to go ahead and put together. So let me go and show you guys. There's no sea pickles in here right now, but as soon as I turn it on, it's going to start producing sea pickles, and I could leave this on for like maybe 2 minutes, and I will be able to produce quite a few sea pickles in that short amount of time. Because look, I've already produced, well, it's getting relatively close to half a stack, but already it's a half a stack. So this does produce sea pickles relatively quickly. And before I go any further, you might be wondering why I'm building a sea pickle farm, and you're going to see there's going to be somewhat of a similar theme with the other farms that I plan on building, and that's because these are all going to be aquatic-based farms. And the reason behind this is because I said that I wanted to go ahead and build some sort of aquarium shop, which I still plan on doing. I'm still planning on going ahead and selling live fish to people, but I figured if people are going to be building aquariums, and this is just me hoping that they're going to, because obviously I'm going to be providing this service, and I'm hoping it does at least a decent job. I want to provide people with the means to be able to decorate their aquariums however they see fit, which is the exact reason why I have the sea pickle farm, and then, well, the other farms that I'm building or planning on building are all aquatic based. So here is the next farm that I want to build right here. This is an automatic kelp farm. Now apparently someone on the server technically already does have a kelp farm, but they seem to also have it set up to go ahead and smelt it down, because they're not actually technically selling kelp, they are selling dried kelp blocks. But yeah, the basic way that this works is that whenever kelp grows far enough and it reaches this observer, then it's going to end up triggering it, and it's going to harvest it. And I do technically have this particular example set up with dispensers and bone meal just because I wanted to make sure it was properly working, and this is actually the fastest way to go ahead and get it to work. So yeah, I went ahead and harvested, and it's eventually going to make its way to the top, flow into the hoppers, and make its way into the chest. So it's actually relatively simple, and mainly this is a slower farm, but it should hopefully work in the long run. Now, this next farm that I'm going to be showing you guys, technically I have 2 entirely different versions of the exact same farm built, and these were both tutorials that I discovered online. I was just trying to determine what kind of design I was going to go for. I'm not going to build both of these. I'm going to build only one of these, but I just want to get an idea of which one I technically want to build. And this is a coral slash seagrass farm, and they both function pretty much the exact same. Now, they both require a pickaxe that has silk touch and shears in order to work, and this farm does not actually work in creative mode. You actually have to be in survival mode in order to get it to actually work, but I will at least show you guys how it works. So this one, you press a button, it dispenses bone meal, and it will grow seagrass, and occasionally it'll grow coral. For whatever reason, it doesn't seem to work with coral fans. I'm not entirely sure why, but you need the shears to use on the seagrass. In order to get the coral, you actually are required to have the silk touch. Well, actually, I shouldn't say silk touch pickaxe, even though that is what I said earlier, but anything with silk touch will technically work. Now, this one is technically a manual farm, which is not all bad, that's all things considered. However, this one is technically an automatic farm, and you can, I suppose, if you really want to, AFK at this if you really want to, but they both work exactly the same. However, in this particular case, you flick the lever and it works automatically, and all you do is break stuff and attempt to harvest it, and it automatically regrows absolutely everything relatively quickly. Now, the one thing is, if you're going to be using one particular tool, you will not be able to harvest the other item. Unfortunately, you're going to have to switch between the two tools in order to get the different materials that you want. And I think this one is actually the one I'm going to end up building on the server, because I can get the materials a whole heck of a lot quicker, and I can go ahead and spend, like, I don't even know how long, maybe like 20 minutes just harvesting stuff without really having to do a whole heck of a lot. Whereas this, well, as I said before, this one is technically manual. Anyway, let's go ahead and get onto the SY server, and we're going to go get started with these projects. Alright, so here you are back on the server, and as of right now, I'm just smelting down a little bit of, well, technically a stack of sand into glass. And before you guys go ahead and say that I do technically have a ton of glass in here already, you are technically right. Obviously, as you can tell, I've got a ton of glass in here, but I technically need like 10, 11 stacks of this stuff, something along those lines, in order to build this giant glass dome under the water that is going to be my eventual permanent home. So I technically did need more glass than there was already inside of that chest in order to put together these farms. Now, I will go ahead and say there are some materials that I still technically need in order to go ahead and get started with this project. Well, specifically two particular materials. I need sea pickles and I need coral, because you actually need to plant these sea pickles on the coral blocks in order for this to actually technically work. And I had to do quite a bit of stuff off camera in order to even have the materials in order to do the projects that I need. So I needed shears, obviously, because I'm going to be having a seagrass farm eventually, but that's not going to be happening in this episode, obviously. But I also am going to end up needing a silk touch pickaxe. Obviously, this is going to be for the seagrass slash coral farm, but I actually am required to have silk touch in order to be able to even pick up the coral blocks in the first place, because I need them to be alive, and that's actually the only way that I can actually go ahead and get them. And in case you're wondering, well, how I got the enchants on that pickaxe, well, I did already technically have a few diamonds, so I just made a pickaxe. And, and I also got the enchantments from getting books from fishing, so that's actually, well, not uncommon for me, obviously, because you guys know by now that I do a ton of fishing. So I actually am obviously going to need the water breathing potion that I literally just picked up. And for those of you who are not aware, I am technically extremely close to a coral reef biome, which is actually going to make things a whole heck of a lot easier for me to get not only the coral that I need in order to build this farm, but also the sea pickles, because obviously this is where they will actually spawn. So technically, in order to get this farm started, I only really need one sea pickle, because you bone meal them, they basically expand out, and I will hopefully be able to show you guys that at some point in this episode. And the fact that we're surrounded by all the life under here, obviously great, and I guess I should have expected someone like you to be coming in. Just want to make sure this dolphin's out of the way before I attack you. Alright, so yeah, I should have expected someone like you to be where I don't want you to be. Alright, so I do need, as I said, the coral blocks, and technically I only need 5 of these. I only need 5 of these because that is actually how much is required in order to get the farm going. I imagine that probably floated up to the top. Would you guys not? I'm just trying to do some harvesting, and you guys are definitely not helping my cause. My gosh, you guys are absolutely jerks. Alright. Hopefully I will be able to mine the rest of these up. Obviously, if I get attacked, well, there's not much I can do about it other than, well, having to defend myself. So I'm going to go ahead and get the coral. I know I did already say I technically only really need 5, but I'm going to get at least more than that, just in case for whatever reason I decide to expand the sea pickle farm. And there's really only one way that I actually technically know of to be able to do that. It's actually not that complicated, all things considered. So I'm going to be right back, and then actually by the time I actually do turn the recording back on, what I'm actually going to end up doing is going ahead and getting started actually building this particular farm. And I can't imagine it being too complicated to build. I mean, admittedly, I did say I found a tutorial, and was by Mr. Crayfish, and his tutorials are actually pretty simple to follow, but yeah, I imagine it may take at least a decent amount of time. I said I was going to explain the reason why this could potentially be the final episode of SY SMP, and I'm actually going to be using the building process of the farm as a means to explain that. So yeah, I talked too long. I got the coral I need actually, so no, I'm just going to go ahead and get started working on this farm. And talk too long already. Alright, I'll be back in just a couple of moments. So yeah. Alright, so I went ahead and got at least some of it started. I've got this whole dugout in the sand where I actually need to go ahead and get this technically started. So as I said, I was going to go ahead and discuss why this could potentially end up being the final episode of SY SMP, and I'm hoping this is not going to end up dying, because it is technically at least somewhat touching a water source, and it seems it's doing just fine. Okay, so here's what the current situation is. So the owner of the realm, who is technically, it goes by the name of Gamer Dunia. So apparently he's been having some issues with his computer, mainly specifically with his monitor, and so unfortunately he's actually unable to play on the realm as of right now. And the decision that he decided to go ahead and make is to go ahead and shut down the realm for at least a month, and then open it back up after that and start a completely brand new season. And then hopefully by that time he'll have a brand new monitor to go ahead and play. Now obviously I am not the owner of the realm, so it's not really 100% my place to go ahead and say, or at least make the final decision for the realm. And it seems like there's been quite a few people on the realm that have already at least somewhat accepted what was going on. I'm not really going to argue with his decision, but honestly, well, actually I am technically going to argue with his decision, because honestly, I feel like he should technically at least leave the realm open for at least right now, because obviously you're the owner of the realm. If you're not able to play, admittedly, not exactly a really decent situation as of right now. I mean, not being able to play does admittedly suck, but here's my thing, and I just realized I do not have any redstone dust. Hold on, I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got the redstone dust now. So as I was saying, he's going to shut down the realm simply because, well, his monitor is broken and he's unable to play on the realm, which honestly, as I said before, does technically suck. But here's my view on the situation. So admittedly, he is not able to play, so he would much rather go ahead and shut it down, at least until he's able to go ahead and get on the realm himself. But honestly, personally, I would rather him not. And here's my reasoning for it, and that's because if he shuts down the realm, then no one is actually going to be able to make any sort of progress. Now, in my defense, I've technically only been playing for a few weeks now, so obviously I would technically say to leave it open so I can make more progress, because obviously I haven't made a whole heck of a lot. But I also want to try to put into perspective the rest of the server members, because obviously they've probably got at least some sort of project that they are at least hoping to be able to work on. And at least I would like to imagine. Obviously they've been on the realm a lot longer than I have. And where are my... Oh, I actually used all of my sticky pins. I actually need one more. Again, I'm going to have to get some materials. Actually, you know what? I'll just go ahead and grab it and talk at the same time. So, I feel like people should be allowed to go ahead and keep on making progress on the realm, even though the realm owner technically is unable to go ahead and get on. That's just my personal opinion. I realize maybe there's going to be people on the realm that disagree and are perfectly fine with the situation. I'm not going to argue that fact whatsoever. But here's my theory. If let's say I owned a realm, and for whatever reason I'm unable to play for, let's just say 1 month, which is technically how much Dunya said is how long it's going to end up lasting. So personally, I would actually rather go ahead and let the people on my realm still technically be able to play, even though I'm not able to, because honestly I feel like that's only fair. That's just my personal opinion about this whole situation, because then that way anyone is actually technically able to go ahead and get done, well, exactly what it is they want to be able to get done. So let's go ahead and place down that right there. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I actually technically need an extra redstone repair, which technically I do not have. So personally, like I said, I would much rather have the ability to continue making progress, even though the realm owner is unable to do so. Hopefully at least someone on the realm is able to see where I am technically coming from, I'm hoping. So yeah, I'm just trying to think. Well, obviously I do want to make more progress myself. I'm trying to at least try to think of at least the other people on the realm as well, because I do like to try to think of other people every once in a while. That's exactly what I am attempting to do right now. Anyway, I think I've spoken my mind, at least up until this point, as far as how I feel about the situation. Hopefully I got my point across. Whether or not it's going to change anything, I honestly do not know. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. We'll have to find out later. But yeah, I just figured I'd go ahead and give my personal opinion. So now I'm just waiting on being able to make some redstone repeaters. Mainly I technically only need one, and I think I'm looking at my timer right now. I am short on time, so I think what I'm just going to go ahead and do for at least right now is just finish the project and then end the episode off, at least show you guys the farm completely built. And something I also do want to go ahead and mention, so I have been saying a few times that I'm going to end up selling the cactus. I still plan on doing that, and apparently people are saying they're lazy and they're going to go ahead and buy the cactus themselves. So what I'm going to go ahead and do next episode, provided next episode actually happens, I'm going to go ahead and set up a little mini shop over at Spawn to go ahead and start selling the cactus. So that's what's going to happen. So let's go ahead and finish off this project. And I imagine this can't possibly take too terribly long to go ahead and finish off. Alright, so I've got done for pretty much the most part. The last step that I need to take is to go ahead and start planting, well, plant at least one sea pickle right there, and then also I need to go ahead and cap this off. And there's also one other thing that I do technically need to do, and let's go ahead and put bone meal into the actual system itself, because it's actually how all this is actually going to end up working. I think I could probably get away with putting the bone meal in from up here. Okay, so yeah, that seems I can go ahead and reset, so that's good. So here's how this system actually ends up working, and I'll go ahead and cap this off in just a moment. So as you can tell, no, okay, so there's some of my planks in there. So let's go ahead and put in the remainder of these sea pickles in here. If I just go ahead and simply turn this on, it's just going to go ahead and start making sea pickles, and they're eventually going to go ahead and make their way into this chest. As you can tell, it's actually relatively fast, all things considered, so I can get quite a decent amount of sea pickles in just a short amount of time. The only thing I need to be aware of is that I need to make sure that the dispenser is properly stocked with bone meal. That's why these two chests are actually here, so that I can go ahead, open them up, and if I need to add more bone meal, I definitely can. And yeah, the only thing that I have left to go ahead and do is to go ahead and roof this off. But other than that, this project is technically done. So this is actually where I'm going to go ahead and end off the video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure that like button. One more, to make sure that subscribe button for future content. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at AgentCP0 to stay updated. This has been Zeus Studios. Thank you guys for watching, and with that, I'll see you guys later.